make is the proxy trade. That's when you take an asset that's closely related to the underlying asset and see if it will have a relative value move to the trade. So for example, in the case of oil that you had with Blake and Dave, they both chose an FX proxy trade. In Dave's case, dollar NOK. In Blake's case, dollar CAD, to make the trade. And it's a very interesting lesson to take away, that you don't necessarily have to trade the particular underlying commodity. You can express the same view on a proxy way in FX.
Force me into the market, and you're going to put a gun to my head. I'm going to get long dollar MEX right here. Stops below 1988. So stops right below here.
All right.
And then I'm going to target 2030.
Okay. So for our audience information, every trade has a default of one lot position. And I'm going to ask the traders as we go on to see how convicted they are, how convinced they are. That's a joke on a lot of people's names who mix up that word. In terms of their, strength of their trade. So, are you a one lot trader on this, or you want to go larger? You want to go large and go home there, my friend, or
pre-market, pre-jobs report? I'm going one lot. I mean,
Blake is properly gauging his risk. There are going to be, market open. There's going to be some jockeying. There's still going to be a little bit of positioning. Looking at the market right now, knowing what you know about the data from the non-farm payrolls, where do you think the best trade for the rest of the day lies? I'm going to ask Dave first and see what he's going to be able to come up with as far as on his instrument set. What's on your board looks most attractive from a technical and a fundamental point of view?
Given what Blake was doing as kind of a proxy for an oil trade, and if we want to keep it FX centric here, we could do the same exact type of a trade setup. We could go long dollar NOK, which of course is a kind of a proxy on oil, very similar to dollar CAD. So, using this pullback in the dollar as a way to kind of pick it up on the cheap, I think dollar NOK probably makes a little bit of sense down here.
Okay. So
it's so funny, Dave. I actually have the chart up on my screen. That's I was just looking at that, and so he stole my thunder. That's cool. I like it. Hey, look, I agree with Dave. So go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. So go long here. We're 863.30 right now. Go long. Okay. I think that'll be a good trade into the weekend and into next week, because I still think the dollar's got more legs to the upside and oil to the downside. So
dollar. Would you like to just for our producers information, where would you put a stop there? Since this is relatively, you're going to be willing to hold this for a while. You want to give yourself a little breathing room.
How would you? Again, this might be a trade, obviously, for the trading challenge, and we're just trying to guess by the end of the day. But I've got pretty high conviction on lower oil and stronger dollar. So I'd have to see something around.
Let's see how high conviction you really have. Are you going to go just one lot, or are you going to really step up and become a man?
I would probably put on 5 lots here. Put a stop at 854.
Okay. All right. So here we go. So Dave is not only going dollar NOK long, but he's getting large. So he's going to go 5 lots, and he's put a stop at 54, and so that will be his final idea for the day in a trading battle.
With that being said, I'm just going to have to add to my dollar Canadian, and I'm going to have to put on a couple more lots with dollar CAD.
Right, there we go. You're really liking that trade. That's great.
Blake, there's no reason why you couldn't do the dollar NOK trade, and whoever wins is the one who position sizes properly.
Well, I'm going long 20 lots. I'm just kidding.
There you go. So you win by default if your forecast is correct.
Too aggressive for my taste, but you know what? I actually think the dollar Canadian. I think that's also a great trade. As long as we stay above 123, I would say 123.35. So we continue to make higher highs, and we don't breach this little previous breakout point. I think adding a couple lots here is a reasonable trade.